Did you see the one that SMR put up the other day, that hour long thing, the French interview thing?
Yes, I watched that.
That was quite funny. That was a stitches for half the thing, to be honest with you. Elon's just taking a piss. Like, how do you do all this? Yeah, crystal meth.
Yeah.
Dude, calm yourself down. Don't say shit like that. You know what's going to happen.
Oh man. Fair enough. That was funny. That was
Yeah,
hilarious.
mate, it was brilliant, honestly. So some of the stuff that he said as well, like, yeah, he just didn't give a in that interview. Literally could not give. Hi, everyone. I'm Ash.
And I'm Joe, and welcome. And yeah, we don't really have anything specific that we want to talk about today. We're just doing our weekly meetup and having a little chat.
See what's going on in the world this week.
There's loads happening. It's just nothing that specific that hasn't been covered by other people that we feel the need that needs covering. There's one thing though, is the Tesla did the video about the supercharging navigation. I thought that was pretty cool how they showed how they have this dashboard that monitors it all, kind of like you see with trains and stuff.
Yes.
That was pretty cool. So, yeah, so does it count as advertising? I don't think so. I think it's just part of the usual promotional videos that they do.
I wouldn't say it's advertising.
Should I play that video? I mean, it's quite short.
Might
It's
just find something we react to.
The goal is
Hmm.
to get you to your destination as quickly as possible. If I'm taking a road trip back home, I'll just tell navigate to Aspen, Colorado. It'll find the superchargers I need.
I just want to post it. I cannot use maps with a satellite view. I don't know why. Even from before when I was using Google Maps, it's like the satellite view just doesn't show as clearly the roads and the turns and everything that's coming. Is it just me? Does everybody else use satellite view?
No, I don't like it. I like map view and the direction that I travel, not north at the top, because that also confuses the crap out of me sometimes.
Exactly. Direction of travel plus map view because the streets are just better highlighted on the map view than it is on satellite view.
By far.
Yeah.
I don't know, unless
Need to
like
stop.
in the Google Maps thing where it actually tells you which exit you need to take and that sort of things. That can help, but like let's say if you use Waze, it at a roundabout, it wouldn't tell you do you have to take the third exit. It just tells you you can see it's the third, but I don't like using it,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I don't like that steering wheel either.
No, I love that steering wheel. Let's go full
No,
screen here.
no.
That steering wheel is the only thing I don't like about the steering wheel is the fact that you're gonna have to get used to your turn signals being buttons on the steering wheel rather than stalks. That's gonna take some time getting used to.
The thing that bothers me most, and it's probably something stupid now to be honest, but if I go around the corner, I
Yeah,
turn my steering wheel, and
yeah.
then when I want to get my wheels to straighten up, I just let go and I let it like spin in my hand, and I
Yes.
put my hand back on it when I'm supposed to. I'm not going to be able to do it with that.
No, you're not. I mean, you have an option of a round wheel. You don't
I'll
have
have
to
the round
go.
wheel. Thank you. I do not want that.
I'm definitely going for the yoke when I get the Cybertruck. Absolutely going for the yoke.
Why?
I like it. I really, really like it.
Okay, each to his own. I don't want one of those in my car. That will do my head in.
Fair enough.
Stop at along the route, take me along I-80 through Salt Lake City to Colorado. It tells us because we're at a charger that we need to charge for 5 more minutes in order to continue the trip. Every single car is doing its own air traffic control calculation. The superchargers themselves are always reporting information of
That map there, that shows them what is busy and what's not.
Okay, but now that they're letting other people use the network, how's that going to affect that? Are they going to be using the same app? Are we still going to know what's free and what's not?
Yes, because, well, one, they were already opening up chargers anyway in Europe before anywhere else to other parties. And so, unfortunately, you wouldn't know how many people is heading there, but you would know once it's plugged in if it's busy or not, because the charger would still report back.
Yeah, which is a bit of a one, to be honest.
Yeah, but Tesla's only opened some of the chargers. They haven't opened the busy chargers to non-Tesla cars.
That's also true.
There's only the ones that's empty. So I'll tell you in a little bit. I've been to a supercharger now already. I'll tell you the experience, and it's just like, yeah, we'll get to that.
up to Tesla. With that information, we know how full a particular site is and if there are people waiting at that site, and we'll automatically route you through charge stations with less congestion.
Once the car knows the route, the car UI knows all the information about the route, the initial battery pack temperature, forecasted wind, speed, and direction, so that we can more accurately predict your energy consumption.
And what the algorithm behind the scenes is doing is telling you to arrive at fairly low state of charge and then charge just enough to get to the next charger that it's selected. With Trip Planner, we've solved range anxiety.
There we go.
Yeah, and then people don't use it and complain.
Yes. Yeah, so I've been to a supercharger once now. Granted, it was 4 o'clock in the morning, so you can't expect it to be empty.
Yep.
Which it was. But from where I was working, where I left the place that I was working, was only like a 12-minute drive to get to the supercharger. I didn't precondition the car before I got in the car, so the batteries were cold. Then I told it I'm going to supercharger, so it had to really try and warm up the batteries. So on the way drive there, it kept saying preconditioning batteries for supercharging, but it wasn't finished by the time I got there. Bear in mind, I was at what would that have been? About a 25% state of charge, give or take. I think I had 60, 70 miles of range left of my 260. So it's what, 20%? Somewhere there. So I wasn't empty, and the batteries weren't fully preconditioned. So because I have the standard range Model Y, its maximum capacity is 170 or 180 kilowatt hours. That's its maximum charge speed.
Okay.
When I plugged in, I was getting 120. So I reckon I could have probably gotten more if the batteries were finished conditioning, but also I wasn't fully empty, so you won't get that. But at 120, and then obviously it kept tapering off as it's added more charging. I put in just under 80 miles of range of charging. It was really quick. Like I was still busy playing on the charging screen, watching it, what it's doing and stuff, and he's like, okay, you're done. Like, come on, I'm still playing here.
I'm still busy, man. Stop charging so quickly.
Exactly. Like the miles were just counting up and counting up. Like, this is awesome. By the time I finished, I think I was at about 160 miles of range in the vehicle. So yeah, I put in about 80, so I was at about 80. I told it to stop there because you can just drag a slide and tell it where to stop. So it stopped because I didn't need more than that until I got home. You know, for what I needed for the next day and then driving home. I would have had enough.
Yes.
So did that, went and unplugged and drove off, and yeah, it just works. I kid you not, it works. This supercharger is slightly off of, it's at a garden center, but it's like probably like a 2-minute drive off of a major road that goes into London.
Right. I'm
you
trying
know,
to figure out which junction you're at, to be honest.
I think it's junction 2 on the M25, which is the A2
okay.
M2, which goes to
Yeah.
the ferry crossing to go to France. But
Yeah, I
going
know
the
where you
other way into London, there's a supercharger there at the garden centre. So you get off of it, you go through like 1 or 2 roundabouts, and then you go to the garden centre. When I turned up, there was no one. I think there's a 12 stall, and I was the only one there. When I left, someone else had turned up in a Model 3, black Model 3. Yeah, what can I say? You turn up, you plug in, it starts charging, it works.
How long were you there, all in all?
I didn't time it.
Ah,
I know, idiot. Probably like 5 minutes because I only put in that little. Like it
how
was
much did it cost you?
nothing.
Nothing.
Because I got the 100 free supercharging miles when I bought the car.
Ah,
And I used 80. So yeah, it did show in the car it would have cost me £9, I think it was.
minus.
£9. But here's the thing, yeah. When I turned up and I went to this specific supercharger because I had 2 other options in the area that I could have gone to. When I went to this one, the other ones were rated at 40p per kilowatt hour for that time of day. The rest of the day they were at 45p per kilowatt hour. So not that much more than charging at my house.
No, not really.
Not really, yeah. This one at night, at that time of night, was rated at 39p per kilowatt hour, which is 4p per kilowatt hour more than at my house, which is still vastly cheaper than buying petrol or diesel.
Oh, definitely.
So I went there and did the charge. Then I went and looked at like other non-Tesla chargers, and most of them says about 75p or higher.
Wow.
I know. So this was last week. To this week, when I got to the hotel I'm staying in now, they actually have fast charging, so 50 kilowatt. To me, that's not fast enough. It needs to be, 150 and more.
Makes sense.
Anyway, so they got 250 kilowatt chargers out here in the hotel's car park. Guess how much they charge?
Oh, not a clue.
79p per kilowatt hour.
Wow.
That is way more costly than petrol and diesel.
That's ridiculous, mate. 79p.
79p per kilowatt hour. Like, I turned up in the hotel, I'm like, ooh, there's a charger there. I wonder how much that is. Is it like, 10 minutes free for residents or an hour free for residents or something like that? No, it's just flat out 79p per kilowatt hour.
That's crazy.
Come on, people. So, yeah, how do you go from Tesla charging during the day about 45p per kilowatt hour and everybody else charging nearly double
Double that.
that?
Mm. It's because they need to charge double that to actually make any money.
That is crazy. And I actually saw someone charging there yesterday with a freaking Fiat 500.
Oh, well, that's the price you have to pay for being stupid, I guess.
How the hell could you justify that? That costs more than petrol diesel.
So basically, stupidity costs 79p per kilowatt hour. That's what stupidity costs you.
Dude, it's unbelievable. It is truly unbelievable.
I still don't get why there's so many people that buy non-Tesla EVs. It's not the time yet.
Dude, I don't get it. It's like,
Yeah, they look nice. Yes, it looks different in this, that, and the other, and everything else, but doesn't compare at all.
I don't know if you're going to be able to see that properly.
Move it a little bit.
The
Yeah, there we go. Now I can see more.
reflection is bad. Oh, that's not too bad. There we go. I should just take a screenshot and bring it up on the screen.
It probably would be easier, but yeah, I can see that.
Okay, so basically that's my charging. So the red is the supercharger, the red bar that you see there. So since the supercharger, the blue is what I charge at home, and the grey is other. Yeah, you can see 6% at home, 16% other, 76% at home. That's horrible. But yeah, so far I've put in almost 400 kilowatt hour, and it's only cost me £106 because I got the grey I get for free. So far 18% of my electricity.
Yeah, but
I've gotten
only
for
up
free.
until you get to 100 miles, then that goes.
No, the grey I get for free. The red was the supercharger.
Why do you get the grey for free?
Because at work I can just plug into a 39 plug and it doesn't cost me anything.
Okay, that makes sense.
At some of the sites where I do work, I can do that. So far, at charging it down over 2 weeks, it's cost me £106.
That's not bad.
Yeah. For doing 1,500 miles?
It's not bad at all. £100 for 1,000 miles. I'll pay that happily. Well,
Yeah, it's a huge difference.
yeah, I need to sort mine out sooner rather than later. Just have a few things going on at the moment, so it's a bit like,
Yeah.
get it done, sort of thing. But no, that's, to be honest, yeah, I've heard from you and a few other people now about their recharging and everything else. Most people enjoy it and they like the Teslas. I've only heard of 2 people that is not happy. And one of them to the point where he actually gave it back.
Yeah, that's weird. Why would you give it back?
I don't know. It probably just, again, weird thing. Both the people that actually don't like it are older as well, like 50 plus.
Okay.
Whereas anybody under that has the car is different. I don't know if that should come into play, or I don't know. Maybe that was just my experience.
Yes, something I wanted to show. Alright, so that is a Tesla Model Y that's been specifically converted into a police car.
Nice.
And it's a company called Model PD, so as in Tesla Model whatever, police
Department.
or Valor Outfitters, but there's a project Model PD. And
Okay.
yeah, they literally fit it out. Dude, they got the freaking cage in there for the criminals and everything.
Nice.
I'm with Model PD. We're the manufacturers of
Have a look
the
at this.
first all-electric police vehicle based on the Tesla Model Y. Well, on the front end, we've got push bumper, which is pretty standard on police vehicles.
Look at those headlights. Oh my gosh.
And why did they say based on a Model Y?
I don't know.
It's not based.
Model.
It is. Look at the sign.
But they've actually built integrated headlights. They haven't strapped something on there. It's like literally the headlights themselves. Like they've done some major software customization and stuff as well. It looks pretty
which
sick.
is pretty standard on police vehicles. The wheels and tires have been
Oh, that's
replaced
ugly.
with steel wheels and Goodyear Eagle RSA police rated tires. The roof has been replaced and modified with a carbon fiber roof instead of your normal glass roof that's on the Tesla vehicles. That has to be done just so we have a mounting surface for light bars, antennas, and then we have to have a headliner on the interior for things like dome lights and mounting of switches and being able to run cabling and all kinds of other things. Interior has been modified. Front seats in this one haven't been completed yet. This is our R&D vehicle, so there's some things that are missing here and there because this one's not done. But the front seats have been modified because when you're an officer wearing a gun belt, you can't have too much bolstering in the seats. So we have to use a more durable Cordura material so they don't get torn up by handcuffs and guns and all the other things that officers wear on their duty belt. The flooring has been modified, so instead of carpet, you have a vinyl rubber. Police cars tend to get messy. Carpet doesn't fare very well.
horrible.
The headlights, taillights, fog lights, all the exterior lighting has been modified to have red and blue lights inside, so you don't have to add additional lights to the front and back of the car because that lighting's already there. We've also designed and manufactured all of the police-specific equipment like cages, push bumpers, light bar brackets,
horrible, eh?
cargo area, basically all the things that are usually required to turn a
you wouldn't
traditional
be in
Ford,
that
Chevy,
for
or Dodge vehicle into a police car.
Sorry, say again?
So you wouldn't want to be in the back of that.
No, that looks so uncomfortable there in the back.
Good. Let him be uncomfortable.
But yeah, making good use of the extra storage space under the car.
We also have an integrated screen, that the main Tesla screen that would normally just be for driving the car. We have a
Instead of adding their own screen with the normal police interface, they just have a switch that they flip and they can use the Tesla screen as a normal screen. So I would like to know how they did that interface without the Tesla freaking out about it. You know, the car freaking out about it.
They would have definitely spent a lot of time with Tesla to get to this point. I can't imagine they've done it by themselves.
I doubt they've done it all by themselves. I'm sure they've worked with Tesla on that.
You're going to have
a
to.
manual switch that the officer can flip, switch between a Windows desktop and their Tesla
I want that option on mine.
standard screen. So they
I know, imagine that, eh? Just you flip a switch and then you can use a computer.
Yes, that'd be sick, to be honest with you.
Imagine doing your work there.
It's a matter of time before that's integrated, dude. Seeing as that they've already done it,
Yeah.
it's a matter of time.
they don't have to have another screen in the front seat. Everything operates off of the main Tesla screen. Generally, from the math.
Alright, that's enough of that. If anybody wants to watch this video, we'll put the link in the description for it.
That's very interesting. I didn't know about that, to be honest.
Yeah. So yeah, just all the possibilities. He does talk about how the Tesla is currently the only thing that meets the requirements that they need from all the EVs. Yeah,
It's because they built with safety first.
and all other things. Yeah, there's one little thing that I have to say about the Tesla or two things so far from driving the Tesla that I don't like. Yeah,
Go
so
on.
constructive criticism here for Mr. Elon and the Tesla team. The turning circle is pardon my language, but it is really, really bad. I was not expecting it to be like that. Let's bring it up. Let's go do a search for it. It's vastly worse than the Caddy I had. It's vastly worse than pretty much anything I've ever had. Can you
Wouldn't
do a
your
quick?
Caddy have a shorter wheelbase?
I don't think. No, the Caddy was a long wheelbase. It should be
Oh.
worse.
Yeah,
Can you bring up your car's turning circle?
I'm sure I can. 2017 3 Series, 11.3 meters.
So they say here that the Caddy and the Tesla is the same turning circle, but it sure as hell doesn't feel that way.
What's the Tesla's turning circle?
12.1.
I'm actually quite surprised it's bigger than my Beamer.
Yeah, it's bigger than a Beamer. 12.1 meters turning radius.
No, so it's about a meter over mine.
But it feels so much more. Like it says here that the Caddy Maxi is 12.2, so it's 0.1 meters more. But yet I never struggled to make a certain turn at this job that I'm doing now when I got there with the van. Yet when I get there with the car, I sometimes have to reverse to then make the turn. Like with the Caddy, I had no problem making a turn. I didn't even think about it. Whereas
Yeah,
now
but the Caddy you've also had for a while, so could that have something to do with it? You're not entering the same way?
maybe it's because the Tesla is so much wider than what the Caddy was.
Oh, definitely. That will also have a lot to do with it. So if your turning circle is, I
The
don't know,
turning
0.1
circle is the
meters,
same.
the same or 0.1 less, but your car is 0.2 bigger, then technically
It feels weird.
it will
Yeah,
feel weird because your bumper will hit the wall before your previous car's bumper would have hit the wall. If you're talking about an inch,
yeah,
an inch is going to make a difference at the end of the day, whether you can turn around or not.
yeah. That's basically, yeah. It's probably the width that's affecting it or
I
making
would
it
say
feel
so.
like the turning circle is bad. So the turning circle is the same, but the width is much more, and therefore I
Yeah.
struggle to make the turn.
Yeah, it's the width of the car that's the issue. That's where the problem comes in.
Yeah, because there's a single road, then there's some barriers that I have to turn through, and then through a roller shutter gate, and it's like it's very tight. It's very tight. For instance, you said your Beamer is 11.2.
Yes.
The Mrs.'s Kia Exceed is 10.4 to 10.6, depending on the model.
Okay. It's almost a meter shorter than mine, or less than mine, should I say.
Yeah, almost 2 meters shorter than a Tesla. I think Tesla could have improved that a bit, considering the Caddy Maxi, which is a long wheelbase vehicle, is the same as a Tesla Model Y, which is not a long wheelbase vehicle.
I don't know. I don't know how to answer that one. You'll have to speak to Mr. Musk and see what he says.
Caddy Maxi is only 100 mil longer than the Tesla. 130 mil longer than a Tesla. That's a Maxi.
It's not a lot, dude. 10 centimeters. That's not
Yeah.
that bigger than 10 centimeters. You're about 15 centimeters there.
So that's the one thing that I don't like about the
Okay.
Model Y is,
But it does make sense though. So your car is wider, yet
yeah.
the caddy is longer, so therefore your turning circle is there or thereabout, but it will feel smaller. Okay, so it makes sense now. Number two,
Number two is I want a speed limiter.
I don't use it at all. I think it's a
Okay.
very dangerous thing.
No.
Yes.
No. Explain
Yes.
yourself.
You need to get yourself out of a situation, and it does happen. You've got the limiter on, you are going to be in trouble.
On the Caddy, I had the speed limiter. And what it does is you set your limit speed that you want, and it won't let you go past that
Mm-hmm.
until you put your foot down. Your accelerator pedal will go up to about halfway. It will limit you at the speed, and if you put it down, it will go, and the Caddy would go. And I used it many times if I had to go. There was no thinking about it. You could just override it by putting your foot down.
I've not tried that. I'll give that a go in my car the next time I'm out. But I do not like speed limiters.
No, the reason why I like it is because you don't really drive in London much, but I do drive in London regularly. And you have speed changes as you go through the place. So there's some roads where you do 50, some where you do 40, some where you do 30, some where you do 20.
Mm-hmm.
Having the ability to just set your speed there so that you don't go slightly over, which is so easy to do in a Tesla because you don't hear the revs going and it
Makes sense.
accelerates like a
Bat out of hell.
yeah, it really you like the acceleration is just it's too much for city driving almost. Therefore, I want a speed limiter because it's just so easy to go over it, and London is covered with speed cameras.
Yes.
So you pull away and it's a 20 mile per hour zone, and you before you know it, you're at 25 or something or 30. It was like, damn it, I need to slow down. It was like even in the 30 zone, you're just cruising along. Next moment you see you're doing 36. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's way too fast.
Okay.
You don't really notice it because you don't have the engine noise that you're used to. We've sensitized our brains to recognize the noise level that your engine gives off to tell you where you are at. I've driven a car once before where the speedo was broken, and I drove purely by the sound of the revs and was able to keep my speed.
Yes. No, I don't really use the sound of the revs. I can feel how fast I'm going. That's how I do it in any case. I don't need the revs.
Yeah, but the difference between 30 and 35 is not visually not that big.
No, it's not, but I will be able to judge I'm going too fast here. And then lo and behold, every time I look down, I will be going too fast.
Okay, but now what if you had a limiter that would stop you going over there? Let's say you're in the 30 zone, you put it to like 31, 32 or something like that, because usually cars are slightly out. You put it to the actual speed, and then you can just adjust it because you already have the right thumb scroll wheel to adjust your cruise control speed. What if you could just press a button on the screen instead of having your cruise control, you can switch to speed limiter, and then you still use your pedal, but it stops you at the speed that you want. if you do half throttle, and if you do full throttle, then it would override it. And on the screen, where it shows you your road speed, right next to it, there's a thing that says max, which I don't know what it like. That's where once you turn on your cruise control, it will tell you what setting you set your cruise control at. But if they make it so you just tap that button or tap that max speed limit, that would then switch you from cruise control to speed limiter mode.
Yeah, to be fair,
And
I
then you
don't
can
think that's a
still.
massive upgrade that they'll need to get that done.
It's nothing but a software upgrade, and every Tesla out there could get it. It's literally just a software upgrade. And that's a feature that I would really love, because I've used it. The last two vehicles I've owned, I've refused to buy a vehicle that didn't have both cruise control and speed limiter, because I do a lot of the city driving. The speed limiter just makes the chances of you getting a fine so much less. As I say, you can still override it, but
Yeah, see, I do a lot of motorway, so the only thing I'm really worried about is cruise control. As
yeah.
long as I've got that, I'm happy.
And the cruise control on the Tesla is very, very good. Like, really good. Yeah, with the speed limiter, it's just.
It's always quite weird that it's not in there, to be honest. I'm more surprised that they haven't got it than I am of anything else.
Yeah, it's like, as you say, you don't really use it, so you don't care. But for people that do use it, we kind of want it. And
No, I can imagine it's going to make a huge. I know a lot of people that do use it. So, like you say, if they're going to tend to jump into another car, they're going to want that same features. And if it doesn't have it, like you say, you refuse to buy cars that didn't have those features.
Yeah, and I didn't know that a Tesla didn't have it. I
didn't even
wouldn't
think
have
that they wouldn't. It didn't even cross my mind that
No.
wouldn't be a feature. It's like cruise control. I never thought that Tesla wouldn't come with cruise control.
It does, but yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, it's like it still wouldn't have stopped me from buying the Tesla, because the Tesla was a financial decision more than anything
I'm
else.
buying one. Yep, exact same reason I'm buying one. I was talking to my neighbor about it last night. I'm not doing it for any other reason, but it makes financial sense. Really and truly, I love ice cars. I like the sound of an engine. I love it, but it is what it is.
I did it for loads of other reasons as well, but also because financial.
Two reasons I did it for. One, financial. Two, put your money where your mouth is.
No, that's not why I did it. I would have easily been able to hold out for the Cybertruck. Easily.
Yeah, I'm not on that list, so I'm not holding on for that one.
I was hoping that the Caddy would have lasted long enough until the Cybertruck came to the UK. But the Caddy wasn't going to last that long, because the Cybertruck kept on getting delayed. So I had to take something in the meantime. But
I had to bite the bullet.
Yeah, what will happen is once the Cybertruck comes, I'll just take this Model Y and trade it back to Tesla for the Cybertruck. Use it as the deposit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which makes sense.
Yes.
I didn't even know that you can't flip in. I saw it the other day. If you lease a Tesla, since 2022 now they've changed it. You don't have the option to buy the car afterwards.
That's if you lease directly from Tesla. Yes.
Yes.
You could lease through other companies potentially, and then have the option to buy.
Have the option to buy, but through Tesla, not.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
Just because the cars are worth more than what you can actually. It's mad, honestly.
I know. They want it back. Give me.
Of course, yes. There's batteries in there. There's all sorts in there. All that needs to be recycled. And they need to recycle as much as they possibly can, because that's the whole thing about it. Okay, yeah,
but
EVs are more expensive to make and more polluting to make, but once it's made, if you're not doing your recycling, then
yeah, but why would you recycle a car that still works?
I'm not saying a car that's working. I'm saying when it gets to its end of life, it'll still then be recycled.
Yeah,
but it's still not worth for them giving you the car, because that car is still worth more to them than it would be to you.
Yeah, the reason why they want it back is so they can do fleets of it, or they sell it themselves on their second-hand market. They got their own second-hand market. Because after
makes sense.
The standard lease is what, 3 years, 4 years, somewhere around there?
Yeah, 3 years is a standard lease.
So, well, I mean, our Kia is on a 4-year lease, so, yeah.
It's normally between 3 and 5 that you get a lease for. Very, very unlikely you get it for less than. Well, you can get it for a year or two, but it just costs you a fortune if you do it that way.
Yeah, no, it's pointless. 3 years, I think, is the standard.
Yeah, because that's how long your warranty. That's how long your warranty would last as well. So if you lease a car for 3 years, you get a 3-year warranty on it. Yeah. That makes sense, because if you then lease it for 5 years or 4 years, then you'll have to buy another extended warranty, which is going to cost you another 800 quid. It just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
3-year lease, 3-year plan, done.
So yeah, after 3 years, the car is not knackered.
No,
you just sell it on second-hand market, but Tesla can get more for it selling it than what they could potentially get as a buyout.
Definitely is.
Yeah.
Right,
Okey-dokey.
I think we need to wrap this one up, dude.
Yeah, I think so too.
45 minutes, I think is the longest one yet.
I've had my little rant about what the Tesla is missing, or the issues I've had with it so far.
It's all good conversation. Like,
And
I
yeah.
wouldn't have known that this was a problem.
Yeah, the turning circle is big. Very, you know, if you think about it, it's the same as a long-range caddy van or long wheelbase caddy van. So same as that, and it's wider. You know, it's almost a meter more than your BMW, and it's wider. So your turning circle is tight.
Very tight.
Yes.
You'll be all right.
But yeah,
Right.
everyone, thank you very much for tuning in, and we'll catch you next time. Cheers.
Thanks for watching. See you soon.